say?
Oh, she's lighting the candles, but she's not saying the prayer.
Come on, that's it. Come on, that's it. It's just, it prevents talking, that's why. Zelda, it's a safety thing. You keep the mask on, that's why.
Well, I need to find it.
Who's doing prayer 4 in lieu of Susan? Prayer 4.
Shabbos, everyone. We begin our service on page 4 with Hinei Ma Tov. Hinei Ma Tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei Ma Tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei Ma Tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei Ma Tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei Ma Tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's my pleasure to welcome to the Beam of Delight or Shabbat Candles our president of our sisterhood, Sylvia Wright. And Sylvia, I got excited last year when we were instructed to wear pink. That's right. I got Canner with the pink tie, and I found something special for you when you come up. You can see, I don't know if I got pink camo socks for you.
Let's see. Oh, those are cute.
I looked hard for it.
And the pink.
The pink keep up. We went for it.
Well, I'll try this one.
It takes time to be enlightened.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tziyanu lehavlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Almighty God, on this Shabbat, grant us and our loved ones rest and renewal. May the light of these candles drive out from among us all tension and anxiety. Send your blessings to our children that we may walk in the ways of your Torah, your light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, metzivanu lehatlik ner shel Shabbat.
It's our pleasure to welcome Debbie Wytrack, who will lead us in Kiddush on page 10, and for those who are able, we rise together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Please be seated. We turn to page 6 with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzeitchem Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And for our first prayer, we welcome to the Bima Rhonda Weinberg.
Unto you, Adonai, I call, and unto you I make supplication. Hear, eternal, and be gracious unto me. Adonai, be my helper. You heal the brokenhearted and bind up their wounds. You who have done great things. O God, who is like you? God, hear my prayers, and let my cry come to you. Do not hide from me in the day of my distress. Turn to me and speedily answer my prayer. Hear me, Adonai, and I shall be healed.
We turn to page 4 with L'chad Odi.
Yalalalai L'chad Odi, Yalalalai Likrat Kala, Yalalalai B'nei Shabbat, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela, Yalalalai L'chad Odi, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה, שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. יאי די די, יאללה לה 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 לכאן דודי, יאי די די, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה, לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. יאי די די, יאללה לה 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 לכאן דודי, יאי די די, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. יאי די די, יאללה לה 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 לכאן דודי, יאי די די, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה.
We rise together and face the west to greet the Shabbos bride.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, יאי די די, יאללה לה 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 לכאן דודי, יאי די די, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה.
Please be seated, and it's our pleasure to welcome for our second prayer, Sandra Landau.
Survival is not healing. Survival is one step on the journey toward healing. Healing is the body and mind's repair, a processing and integration of the physical and the emotional assault that we have survived. On the other side of healing, we emerge reshaped uniquely different from the person that began the journey. Hopefully, we will be completely healed, body and mind, with insight, compassion, and wisdom. Whether we face a surgeon's knife, an ongoing course of medical treatment, the death of someone precious, or another form of brokenness, we confront our ordeal as a unique individual with our own unique tools. Ultimately, we realize that we are never alone, and during the dark moments, we reach outward to our family and friends for the loving touch that will re-energize us in our struggle. We reach inward to draw upon our newly found courage, and we reach upward to seek divine wisdom, strength, and comfort. The miracle of creation is that when we reach in any one of these directions, outward, inward, upward, we are, in fact, reaching in all three to find the power of your divine light.
While it is not in our prayer book, we're going to go to the Chatzi Kaddish next. Yitgadal ve'yitgadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divrach yerutei ve'yamlich malchutei mechayechon u'b'yomechon u'b'chay d'chol Beit Yisrael bagala u'bizman kariv veimeru amen yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam v'yinasei v'yitadar v'yit'aleh ve'yit'alal shemei dekudshah brichu le'ela min kol bechata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma me'imeru amen.
And we rise together.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed le'olam va'ed yadadai dai dai 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 yadadai dai dai.
Please be seated. And it's our pleasure to welcome for our third prayer, Roxanne Travalut.
O my God, my soul's companion, my heart's precious friend, I turn to you. I need to close out the noise, to rise above the noise that interrupts, the noise that separates,
the noise that isolates. I need to hear you again. In the silence of my innermost being, in the fragments of my yearned for wholeness, I hear whispers of your presence, echoes of the past when you were with me. When I felt your nearness, when together we walked, when you held me close, embraced me in your love, laughed with me in my joy, I yearn to hear you again. In your oneness, I find healing. In the promise of your love, I am soothed. In your wholeness, I too can become whole again.
We proceed with Ahavat Olam on page 14.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu B'shochmeinu uvkumeinu Nasiach bechukecha Menismach b'divrei Toratecha U'b'mitzvotecha Leolam ba'ed Ki hei mechayenu Be'orech yameinu Ubahem nehgeh Yomam balayla Be'ahavatecha Al tasir mimenu leolamim Baruch ata Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam, Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאת ידכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים Ani Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
And for our fourth prayer, we welcome Debbie Wytrack.
Show me how to offer hope. Open your hand with the colors of faith that I might begin to fill in the spaces to strengthen another's life. Show me how to offer comfort. Point out your nesting place, feathered against the adversities that wound those I love. Show me the direction when I am lost, searching to help but finding no paths. Show me tolerance when I'm weary of helping and a long, dreary day stretches toward a restless night. You place before us life and love. Show us endurance. You place before us healing and hope. Show us persistence. Reach deep within me, eternal strength, and bring my strength to consciousness. Pull it around us. Let it radiate with your power. Let it guide our way. Please, God, help me to recognize my strength. May I always remember that no matter how far I have fallen, no matter how bleak my life may seem, no matter how lost I may feel, I can always begin again. Teach me always to believe in my power to return to life, to hope, and to you, my God, no matter what pains I may endure, no matter how far I may have strayed from you. Give me the strength to resurrect my weary spirit. Revive me, God, and I will embrace life once more in joy, in passion, and in peace.
Come back up soon. Page 21.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh, Nora tehilot osef eleh, Adonai yimloch leolam ba'ed. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze Eli anu ve'amru, ze Eli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam ba'ed. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da.
We welcome for our sixth prayer, Sylvia Wright.
God of wholeness, God of healing, envelop us with wholeness and well-being. Heal us in body and soul. Let all the elements of our bodies work together in perfect symmetry. Remove symmetry and in peaceful harmony. Remove every trace of illness, every hint of infirmity. Send the healing which you alone can bring.
We continue on page 22, Hashkivenu, the prayer that especially gives us that peace and comfort at night.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, mehamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, mehamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Uferos aleinu sukat shlomecha, ushmor tzeiteinu uboenu. Uferos aleinu sukat shlomecha, ushmor tzeiteinu uboenu. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat in every generation as a covenant forever. It is a sign between me and the people Israel that in 6 days God made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God rested and was renewed.
Meshameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam merit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam le'olam, ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, ubayom hashmi'i Shabbat vayinafash.
We rise together for tefillah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. The bottom of page 29, as Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel teaches us, the meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things in space, but on Shabbat we try to become attuned to the holiness in time. It is a day when we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the result of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. We continue the top of page 35. Grant us peace, thy most precious gift, O thou eternal source of peace. Enable Israel to be its messengers into the peoples of the earth. Bless our country, that it may ever be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. Make content reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among the inhabitants of all lands. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of thy name hallow every home and every heart. Praise be thou, O Lord, giver of peace. Page 34.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Metov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
We take a few moments for silent prayer.
ratzon imrei fi. Yul ratzon imrei fi. Mehagion libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri vegoali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you. Oh God, my rock and my redeemer. Oseh shalom bimromav, uya'aseh shalom aleinu, me'al kol Yisrael, me'imeru ve'imeru.
We take now to think of those in our community who are in need of healing of body and spirit. On this Shabbat, we especially think of Wayne Lewis, Cindy Bailey, Beth Scherer, Ronnie Epstein, Dr. Lynn Simons, Dr. Jason Bailey, Evan Rosemore, Vicki Luger, Robin Silverman Ayers, Nancy Russo, Brian Cohn, Isaac Petrosky, Bethany Pridmore, Katie Bates, Rucker Collier, Chrissy St. Charles and Don St. Charles, Kakiklet Mendel, Diane Larson, and Sharon Weinberg. We ask that you take a few moments silently to think of your loved ones, those who mean so much to you, who are in need of healing of body and spirit. And I know normally it's at this moment when we would say, in a way, our traditional Mishaberach, which has become almost institutional in Reform and conservative Judaism for the past couple decades, and that, of course, is Debbie's Friedman's Mishaberach. Powerful, meaningful, and so many people actually tune in for this moment, but sometimes with honor and respect, we like to change it up. And this is from a little bit more of a traditional prayer for healing, but it can speak to the power of healing in a different way.
Mishem perach aboteinu ve'imoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak ve'Yakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel ve'Leah, u'yevarech et hacholim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yimalei rachamim aleihem, lehachalimam ulrapotam ulehachazikam, v'yishlach lahem mehera refuah shlema min hashamayim, refuat hanefesh u'refuat haguf, hashta ba'gala u'bizman kariv, v'nomar Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. As we celebrate and honor a Pink Shabbat, fighting for those in our community who are facing breast cancer, Sylvia tasked me with the possibility of drashing with Parshat Noah and the message as to why we are here tonight. As I looked at Parshat Noah, I think the first thing that perhaps may come to our mind is when we look at the destruction of the world, and perhaps we can find connection with that, with the destruction of our own bodies. A frustration of the way that our bodies turned against us when this foreign entity invaded our bodies. And perhaps when we look at this particular interpretation, perhaps the simplistic answer to this, with destruction as presented in Parshat Noah, comes tenacity to survive. Then comes the rainbow of a new beginning, of a new covenant. Perhaps we understand this new beginning as a form of when we are in remission, perhaps when we, God willing, can enter survival. But again, if we look at this simplistic interpretation, I think there are actually many flaws. I can't imagine the thousands of people, women diagnosed with breast cancer, and during their fight, they don't get that covenant, they don't get that rainbow. And we all know the answer then, they don't get that rebirth. So therefore, if we look at this parasha with the idea of destruction and renewal, I think that we are certainly obligated to look deeper, to find a different interpretation, to find some type of meaning as to our experiences while wrestling with this horrible disease. Parshat Noah, Genesis 6:9. It begins with this almost famous verse, Elet lodot Noach Noach ich tzadik tamin haya b'dorotam. This is the generation, this is the line of Noah. And then that next sentence was, Noah was a righteous man. And our great rabbis, thousands of years ago, or 1,000 years ago, speak at great length of the idea of what was righteousness during this time of corruption. And Noah embodied a different set of core beliefs, and that is why he was tasked to give a new beginning in a new world. But then lies the next part of this opening verse. Noah walked with God. And if we were to look at the Torah or conversations of theology, we wrestle with this idea of God's involvement in our life. And after all, when Moses had his introduction to the God of Israel in that burning bush moment, it's what he saw, the flames. But we're so entrenched with this idea of the mystery of God. And here we are in this second verse, the idea that Noah walked with God. Our rabbis perhaps teach us that Noah walked with God because he represented the few and only who embodied goodness and kindness, and therefore he had the privilege and honor to walk with God as a companion. But then we look a little bit deeper, and Rashi gives us, I think, a perfect teaching to relate to our experiences. The reason that Noah walked with God is because Noah walked with God because he needed something to support him. And God was his support during this incredible mission. I can't imagine when we get that diagnosis, we learn of the course of action. I can't imagine what we're thinking the words that we will say to our families. If we put aside the doctors, if we put aside the medications, what we need most is to walk with God. And there's a reason why Judaism teaches us God is closer to those whose hearts are broken. So for me on tonight, as we honor those survivors, those fighting breast cancer, this community will walk with you. Those fighting, those surviving, those who wake up each day with that new covenant. We will walk with all of you. As God supported Noah, we will support all of you. And I'd love to welcome all of our wonderful speakers, survivors, to the Bima. As Cantor Wittner and I will give you a blessing that's been with our people for ages. Spread out a little bit. Go over there. I'll do my best to look at you.
May God bless you with all good. May God keep all evil from you. And may God fill your heart with wisdom and grace you with all truth. May God lift up God's merciful face and shine on you for all time. And may God grant you eternal peace. Eternal peace.
We return to our prayer book. We turn to page 40 for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו מגובי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבות האל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ ועל
Please be seated. Yesh kochavim sha'aram magia artsa. There are stars up above so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with the people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we always remember. On this Shabbat, we recall the yortzites of Judith Abrams, Robert Anfanger, Louis Bayer, Martin S. Bergman, Marie Geismer Block, Stan Bloom, Seth Bombit, Gordon J. Brady, Carl J. Chapman, Beatrice Cohen, Max Cohen, Irby Cohen, Hans Kurgel, Maurice Tedley Davis, Brown Dotson, Joseph Engel, Rebecca Feynman, Alice Laurie Friedman, Louis Lazarus Friedman, Bill Goddard, Elliot Goldberg, Jenny Witt Goldstein, Sarah Engel Green, Arthur Hagedorn, Janice Friedman Halprin, Sarah Halprin, Anita Hardwood, Elizabeth Johnson, Donald R. Kahn, Lena Lewis Cantor, Josephine Kaplan, Sam Cardis, Sarah Kaufman, Margaret Kelly, Israel Cronenberg, Ida Cardis Lefkowitz, Eddie Lightman, Ida E. Levinson, Jenny Lober, May Lowe, Louis J. Malkov, Bruno Mazer, Greta A. Malamed, Maureen H. Munsky, Vincent Owen Munn, Abe Nados, Alvin Phillipson, Simon Phillips, Frida Pincus, Rose Menschel Rappaport, John Rathmoyle, Sadie Rice Rich, Leela Sag, Robert Sadoff, Leo K. Steiner Sr., Morton Sussman, Edith G. Tannenbaum, Helen Vance, Anna Franklin Wheel, Robert Weinstein, Marjorie Elman Weinstein, Jean Wolfe, and Eleanor Zellin, and our heartfelt condolences in the recent passing of Regina Toriel, Francis Grossman, Eddie Russell, Barbara Stryker Herman.
Sheila Polkline.
May their memories forever be a blessing. We rise together as a sacred, united congregation for a Morris Kaddish on page 44. Yikadal v'ikadash shemei rabbah, bi'omad divrach chirotei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon, uv'chayet v'kol beit Yisrael, bagala uzman kari v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach leolam olamei almaya. Yit barach, yishtabach, yit ba'ar, yit romam, yit naseh. Vita dar, vita le, vita lal, shemei kucha.
Barichu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damin ram bi'oma v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
Osei shalom b'imromav, hu yasei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
Shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen.
And I'll have Cantor Whitner introduce our closing song.
Well, in honor of our Pink Shabbat, I'm singing a song called There Is Hope.
is hope, there is healing, there is peace, there is blessing, there is hope, there is healing, there is peace, there is blessing. When the waters are wide and you cannot reach the other side, should your courage run dry, there is hope and there is healing, there is peace, there is blessing, there is hope, there is healing, and there is peace, there is blessing. What you try to endure when the future's unsure, believe there's something more. There is hope, there is healing, there is peace, there is blessing, there is hope, there is healing, and there is peace, there is blessing. Yesh tikva, yesh refuah, yesh shalom, yesh beracha. Yesh tikva, yesh refuah, yesh shalom, yesh beracha. There is hope, there is healing, there is peace, there is blessing, there is hope, there is healing, there is peace, there is blessing.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbos.